Thank you so much for joining us wherever you are around the world, across the country. You are right now live at Softball SA here at West Beach, South Australia. It's a beautiful day for softball. We are at the pointy end of the season. Only 3 minor round games to go entering today for each of the teams. And it's a battle for the top 2 spots right now in the ladder. And it's a very important position to finish it in the top 2 because it means you get the double chance in a finals game. Today's game, West Torrens in second place, 15-7 versus the Hills, 11-8-3. A battle between second and third. Potential finals matchup somewhere down the track. It's an exciting matchup late in the game. I bring in Kathy Lambert. Kathy, what do you think of this contest so far?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a tight competition all season between these 2 teams, and between all of the teams actually in our top 5. So yeah, I think it's going to be a great game. And as you said, Eric, perfect conditions here, 24 degrees down here at West Beach, hardly a breeze out there. I think these girls have come to play a good game.
Lee Hull, we bring you in, one of the most experienced softball minds in the country. Lee, what do you make of this Hills team? Because I love the expression, you are what your record says you are. And for Hills, that's probably true. 11 wins, 8 losses, 3 draws. They've had some big wins versus some tough teams, and they've lost some games that maybe they should have won. What do you make of this team? Are they a legitimate contender, or are they a bit down in the pack?
I think I could sum it up in 2 words. Real deal, Eric. They are the real deal this year. They've been very consistent, but today I'll test them against Steph Drazinski, the best pitcher in this state. It's
not just the best pitcher in the state, it's in the last couple months the best team in the competition. West Torrens started off 0-4, and now they've got, what is it, they've ripped off 15 wins and only 3 losses in that time, and won 11 of their last 12 games, and they're only 1 point off the league leaders.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're coming good at the right time of the season, and they'll obviously want to finish this off over the next four weeks as well.
A real positioning game. Chantel Lewis is the woman in the circle. More on her in a second. She delivers a first pitch foul to Jordan Harris. So Chantel Lewis is, you could say, I guess she's been filling in for Georgia Hood, who's their regular starting pitcher, but Chantel Lewis has had spectacular numbers with an ERA just a little bit over 2, and the Hills have been in every one of their games, including a big upset win over Sturt.
Well, it starts with the pitcher, doesn't it, Eric? The pitcher and the catcher, and that's the start of the game, and it could be the end of the game. They do well, and she's done terrifically well. Chump, as she's known.
It doesn't get much more difficult of a start in terms of a batter you have to face than this woman right now in the batter's box. This is Jordan Harris, and she's putting together a typical Jordan Harris season. Lots of stolen bases. She's hitting for more power than maybe she has before, but still consistently one of the best players in the competition.
Yeah, absolutely. She's having a great batting season, and I think her batting average now is sort of sitting around the 420 average, but yeah, lots of extra base hits, and the danger for Jordan, as we all know, is if she gets on base. That she's looking for more than 1 base every time, but also a steal. So that's always tricky for a team if she gets on base.
Yeah, if you want to name an offensive statistical category, Jordan Lambert is at the top for this club in leaders in somewhat, even in a lot of the competition. She's hit 3 home runs this season with 16 RBIs across the 20 games and a .421 batting average. Kathy, exactly what you're saying. She literally can do it all.
Yeah, definitely. And I heard the commentary a couple of weeks ago. I mean, she'll get you with a home run, she'll get you with a running bunt. She's just got so much versatility in her game in the batting box. But then, I think one of her weapons is obviously when she's on base. Probably one of the best stealers and sliders in our competition here.
A complete player. That's what she is, Jordan.
And a very good at bat here. It's a 3-2 count. It's full to Chantel Lewis, the first batter of the game, and Jordan Harris waits on that one, crunches this one out towards the outfield, and moving back to make the catch is Maddie Rocher. What a fantastic catch. That's a tough one to make.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, she took that, and she was on the backhand. It was a hard hit ball. But yeah, well tracked the whole way by Maddie, and nice take up on the backhand there.
And fighting the sun that's setting directly in front of her in the west. And Lee, probably a good moment right there as you see Maddie make a great catch in the outfield to take us through the defensive alignment for this Hills Heat team.
Thank you, Eric. Chantel Lewis to Lauren Christensen. First, Alex Mackey. Second, Amber Hood. Third, Peyton Daniels. And at shortstop, Danny Perez. Outfield left to right, Mackenzie Ween, Maddie Rocher, Abby Jorgensen.
when you talk about a defensive alignment, Hills are just about the best in the competition in terms of preventing runs. Only 67 runs allowed. Sturt lead that mark with 66, and Sturt are table toppers. But especially in 2021, the defensive consistency, Kathy, of Hills has been fantastic.
Yeah, they're the turnaround team for this season. You know, they've really struggled over the last couple of years, and you know, I don't know what the change has been. They do have a new coaching lineup as well, but maybe having Georgia Hood here a lot more regularly. She's now living in Adelaide. They are definitely as I said, the turnaround team, and that helps.
Faith Picard standing in the batter's box. She swings at this one. This one popped straight up in the air, and it was just an awkward position.
It's Rocher again.
What a great catch. Again, as you said,
Maddie
Eric,
Rocher.
awkward position, and for her to just come and take ownership of that is really important.
I thought for a moment that she didn't actually make the catch. You see so often these balls fall in, but Maddie Rocher comes in and makes the collision.
Great replay, great take.
All we needed was a hip and shoulder to complete the play.
So this is the Maddie Rocher inning. She's ran backwards and made one, and she's ran forwards and taken an awkward one. Probably a good sign she's feeling it defensively.
Absolutely, seeing off the bat really well, because that's what you've got to do. You've got to keep your eye on that and see it early to be able to know which way to track, because there's a lot of ground to cover out there. So she has done a really good job so far, 2 for 2.
Sturt are going to have a challenge in this question, but is there a tougher 1-2-3 in a lineup than the combination of Harris, Picard, and Hoyle and what might be presented today?
Yeah, it's tough, and let's not forget Lana Kaiser's not here today, and she's usually in that mix as well. So that sort of 1-2-3 actually stretches down to kind of, you know, it could go 1 to 9 to be honest, the way that they're all playing there. But yeah, it's tough. You know, you've got to be on the ball from that first pitch for the top of the lineup.
And the very good sides with their batting don't change the lineup too much, do they? Sturt, classic case. Just keep the people in the same batting position. Players like that. They like to know they're in a bit of a routine.
Chantel Lewis off to a really good season. She is the pitcher right now. That's what you see on the screen. A 2.13 ERA across 22 innings. It's becoming not so small of a sample size anymore. A bit of a jam shot here for Sophie Hoyle. This is going back. Maddie Rocher can't quite get this one. Just in too much of an awkward spot to grab that one. It was a perfectly placed double for Sophie Hoyle, and it's the first runner in scoring position for West Torrens.
And absolutely what we're used to seeing from Sophie. She's always been a big power hitter, and we've certainly missed her in our competition for the last probably second half of the season. She's got a new job, and she is required to do a lot of shift work. So it's been nice to sort of see her be able to commit to the last few games, and you know, it's her skill is still there and showing over the last few games.
Was excellent on Wednesday night, I believe. Kathy, you was on that game.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely came in and had a couple of, I think she had a 2-run RBI or had some, definitely an RBI at a really critical time.
And the Wednesday night game that you are referring to is a 5-2 victory over Sturt, who are top of the table, but not by much. It was a big gap at one point, but now it's just one single point with 3 games to go. One of the big reasons for West Torrens' turnaround from an 0-4 start and just pretty much a dominating season since that point has been Steph Drazinski. She's batting right now. She's hitting .396 with the bat, and you're going to hear a lot about her pitching, but there might not be much more of a valuable player right now in the competition than what Steph has brought to this Eagles side.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Taylor Mead has done a great job to fill the gap in the pitching circle and won a lot of games with that. But, you know, since Steph has been able to sort of come in and pitch as well as bat, she's been such a critical part of this lineup. It made such a huge difference.
0-2 count pitch there, now just settles in.
Another complete player, Steph is, in my eyes. Can field, very safe defensively in the field. Can bat, hits the ball really hard. Can slide, can bunt, can do the lot.
Second on the team in RBIs, and she's going to get another one right here. Sophie Hoyle gunning around third. She is going to slide in or just step in at home. It's Steph Tracinsky with an RBI, and she moves to third. Right on cue, Steph Tracinsky ties the leader, Jordan Harris, in RBIs for West Torrens, and that's the value she brings, a big piece of 2-out hitting.
She's an absolutely solid hitter. Every time she gets a piece, like as you said before, Eric, she hits hard. Like she's not in there to sort of mess around and just swing for the sake of swinging. Every time she hits, she's got that really powerful competitive streak in her. And I love to see her in the batting box. I'm sort of glad to see her back in. I know she was, designated pitcher when she was away in college, but it's so nice for her to come back to her batting strengths here.
4 batters have presented themselves, all went out to centre field, every one of them.
And what does that tell you?
Tells you that they are right on top at the start, Eric, doesn't it? Hitting the ball long, every shot has been long.
Kelsey Nucky, the batswoman.
And that's why pitcher Chantel Lewis then threw an off-pace pitch, because if you go with the same thing, the next 3 or 4 batters will probably tilt the ball as well.
Well, it's a smart West Torrens batting lineup, isn't it? They make adjustments throughout the game, and they can hurt you 1-9.
Yeah, they're very experienced, and pitchers have got to be really clever about pitching like that, for example, about what they throw to the batters is where I was heading, because if you put it sort of in a sweet spot or anything near, West Torrens are just too good, and they'll get a good piece out of that.
A very nice strikeout from Chantel Lewis on Kelsey Nucky to end the inning. Keeps it a 1-0 game off the bat of a Steph Drazinski 2 RBI double that scored Sophie Hoyle some good 2-out hitting from the West Torrens side. We're going to go to the bottom of the first inning. Steph Tracinsky, you'll see march into the circle in just a moment. She has been spectacular since her return. We'll have more on her in a moment, but Lee, it's always a pretty good West Torrens defensive lineup. A lot of versatility, some key outs today. Who are we looking at today in the lineup?
Okay, so shall I go around the lineup and we can isolate a couple as I do it. Steph to Carly Allen, Kelsey Nucky at first, Faith Pickard at second. That's interesting. Sophie Hoyle's at third because Lana, you said, is at a wedding, I believe.
She is.
And
yes, her brother's wedding.
Jordan's at shortstop. Jackie Bill's at left. Alicia marching at centre. Mary Fuss at right. I think I'll be looking to see how Faith goes. Faith's a very good player. See how she goes at second, and I believe Sophie Hoyle played very well in the Wednesday game. So
At third base.
At third base. So the rest, pretty well normal. Outfielders are the same. And Carly Allen doing a good job catching. But it's when you've got a pitcher like Steph, you know in your own mind as a defensive player, you're not going to be chasing too many runs. You might get 1 or 2 against you, so you can, with the bat, you can go lickety-split, and we can cover those. So it's a combination of things, Eric.
Well,
but those 2 people, Faith and Sophie, I'll be interested to see, because those Kathy, I'll get that right in a minute. Kathy said initially that Sophie played a terrific game, was more like the Sophie that we know.
Oh, and we were having some fun comments with the commentary team about Lana might be a little bit worried about her position. Sophie played it so well, and you've got to have some very good reflexes to be playing third. And yeah, she had some great defensive plays. And interesting, Lana was at shortstop, and Jordan played second on Wednesday night. And another little bit of a different lineup here today. Interesting with Faith at second, because my recollection of her in early A-grade years as a junior was that she did play second base.
She's played a bit all over the competition.
She's such an all-rounder.
Utility.
Yeah, great utility. Great outfielder, good at second as well, and obviously she's a catcher as well. So very, very handy player.
Well, Steph Tracinsky is about to throw her first pitch of the game, and since making her return from injury, she has pitched 41.2 innings, and she's only allowed 1 earned run.
Wow.
1 in those
That's
42
impressive.
innings. Those are earned runs and a 0.19 ERA. Opponents aren't batting very well off of her. They're only batting 0.86. Not even 80. Or 0.86, less than 100. So that kind of shows the caliber that Hills have. And they're also missing their biggest weapon in the lineup, which is Georgia Hood. She's off at Australian team duties right now. She hits over 500. Where do Hills have to generate offense today, as this is Amber Hood up to bat? How do Hills generate offense today?
That's a really good question.
I think it's an answer that everyone's looking for right now versus Steph.
I really don't know that I've got an answer for that one.
I think I'll be going short a fair bit, and I'll be going slap more than big swings at it because Steph will just eat you up if you keep swinging from the hips.
So you reckon the best game plan might be just to put the ball in play
and then
force them to make a play.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, obviously, if you don't get it on the ground, I know you say this a lot, Eric, but if you Eric Lee, sorry, but if you don't get it on the ground, you can't make a play, and so there's no opportunity for an error or putting pressure on the defensive side. So if it needs a short game to do that, then that might be what they need to do.
And you've got to play the percentages in this game. You're not going to come out bang, bang, bang and put Steph deep like it was in their first innings. Batting West Torrens.
Well, that's one way to do it, is just stay patient and work a walk and get on base.
And this is the mentality of the pitchers because they face somebody like Amber Hood, who's probably in their lineup the best batter they've got, Hills, so they pitch carefully. All of a sudden, they find him up there. Now they've got to go short for sure.
Maddie Rocher, she had those 2 nice catches in the first inning. She's really turned into quite a solid player in this competition, and they're showing bunt right away, but that's just blown right by her for a strike 1.
Yeah, that was a great pitch, and Amber Hood is known for her speed on bases as well. So without a doubt, this is a good strategy for Hills to try, and we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if Maddie tries that one again.
Said she just swings through that one, and now she's quickly behind 0-2. That's the danger in facing Steph.
Yeah, and the other part of the danger is you need to get around early. Everybody knew that she was going to bunt. Just relax and let the pitch come to the bat. Just send Amber up to second.
Good job making contact on that one at last second. Floated out foul. Steph Tracinsky is a national team caliber pitcher. She has been on those teams and those traveling teams before. Unfortunately, and all the years to get an injury, it happened to be an Olympic year, which is just so unfortunate for someone like Steph, but obviously she's recovered and recovered really strongly.
Yeah.
0.19 ERA, I mean, she allows 1 run every 5 games.
That is such an impressive stat. And Steph's young as well, so she's got, we all think that she's probably a lot older than she is, but she has been around because she's been, at such a high level for such a long time. But she is young, so she'll have more chances and more opportunities ahead of her.
I think this is an opportunity game for Hills, a game to really send the message. They've separated themselves from the 4th and 5th place teams, and they find themselves in that awkward middle gap right now in the standings. They got 25 points, 5 points clear of Port Adelaide, 7 points clear of missing the final, so they've clinched, but they're 5 points back of this team, West Torrens, with 3 games to go. So mathematically, if they win out and West Torrens lose out, Hills can still finish in a top 2 spot. So
a lot to play for.
There is. They've distanced themselves from the pack, meaning they're a bit clear there, but now they need a big statement win to show that they're among the leaders.
Yeah, I noticed she's pitched, keeping the ball up a bit here to this batter, to Maddie Rocher.
Yeah, Maddie's doing a great job hanging in there.
Yeah.
She was behind 0-2, or she still is behind 0-2.
Yeah, but she's had quite a few pitches at her, so fouling off, waiting for her pitch.
Probably a good sign that Hills aren't making it look easy, or not making it easy for Steph Drazinski and the Eagles.
Well, they're playing the entire season so far with a lot of new confidence. Confidence makes you a better player, doesn't it? No matter what you do in your workplace or you're playing sport. Get confident in your own ability, you can do wonderful things.
And this one is grounded over towards third. Hoyle, there's that nice play across the diamond, but that is a great at-bat from Maddie Rocher, who goes behind 0-2, fouls off a bunch of pitches, puts the ball in play, and puts a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, absolutely. Did exactly what she was hoping to do at the beginning of that bat when she was showing bunt. But, she finally got what she was setting out to do. So good for her. She hung in there, had lots of pitches.
Lauren Christensen is stepping in to plate now. She hasn't played every game this season, but when she has played, she's been pretty effective.
She's not going to die wondering, I'll tell you. Steph and Lauren would have played with each other back in the Torrens Valley days, I reckon.
Wow, that's a good piece.
Especially on that inside pitch.
Yeah, she really got onto that well. I'm not familiar with Lauren, but it sounds like Lee. She obviously played for a while and then has had some time off and come back this year.
Very good catcher she was in the O grade. I'd be thrown off pace now. Steph doesn't do it very often, but she'll go the big lick here, Lauren. Like that.
And she swings through it, and it's the first strikeout of the day for Steph Drazinski, so she's quickly at 2 outs. It's going to leave Danny Perez with a runner in scoring position. And any moment you get a runner in scoring position, you'll really want to capitalize. 2-out hitting makes a big difference. West Torrens had back-to-back 2-out hits. They scored a run. Hills need to do the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, you're not going to get too many opportunities against this West Torrens team when Steph is batting. So, Steph is pitching. So, yeah, you know, Hills do want to capitalize on every opportunity they get when they have a runner in scoring position.
Only 67 runs allowed for Hills this year, 82 for West Torrens.
They were early. Most of those runs were early days for against West Torrens. I'm sure it was.
Talk about a player that's stepped up with confidence, and Danny Perez is being one of them, getting a feature spot in the middle of the lineup.
Got some very good young players, haven't they, Hills?
Amber Hood has some speed. She can run pretty well, so a ball just hit into the outfield, you'd think with 2 outs is probably going to score.
Yeah, absolutely. She'll make the most of that and put the pressure on the West Torrens team to make a play for her.
Just tips that one foul. It's a 1-2 count. Tough at-bats from Hills in the early stages of this game. A very encouraging sign. I don't think anybody, if assuming the standings stay the same, nobody's going to want to play Hills in an elimination game.
Steph's going to throw up now. This count. Just nibbling away.
Yeah, they're making her work for it, aren't they? They're not going down easy. Hills, they're making her pitch a lot of pitches.
Steph was pointing to her dugout, saying that she should have been going there. She thought it was a strike, I think. Not to be.
That one definitely was, and it's a big strikeout from Steph Tracinsky. She gets back-to-back strikeouts with a runner in scoring position to keep this a 1-0 ball game after 1. Well, this one does mean a lot in the context of the standing. Hills can still finish in the top 2. They're on 25 points, West Torrens on 30 points, so Hills need to win their last 3 games, including this one versus West Torrens, and West Torrens need to lose their last 3 games. So it's still very possible that they could get in there. Sturt and West Torrens actually play each other, so one of those teams is going to lose it. So they have 2 avenues to get there, and that's Sturt lose out, West Torrens lose out, and Hills win the rest of their games. Tough proposition, but it is possible.
Yeah, it is possible. And, you know, just for those of you that have joined us for this game, just to give you a little bit of an update on Game 1 today. The 2 o'clock game was against Walkerville and Seacombe, and Seacombe actually took that one out 9-5.
That would be a huge dent in Walkerville's thinking, you would think, wouldn't you? They're battling for that 4th spot.
Well, the finals work like this, and it gets underway in a couple weeks. The top 2 teams, Team 1 and 2, will play each other in a double chance game. Teams 3 and 4 will play each other in an elimination game. The winner of the 3-4 game will play the loser of the 1-2 game in the preliminary final, and the winner of the 1-2 game goes straight to the grand final. So finishing in a top 2 spot has a lot of advantages. There hasn't been really a winner outside the top 2 in a number of years, so that's how important it is to position yourself as strongly as possible.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to come from down that low.
Like you said, Kathy, that's a big blow to Walkerville. They're 18 points, and now Port Adelaide sit 2 points ahead of them with the game in hand. That game will be played tonight at 6 p.m. Sturt versus Port Adelaide. If Port Adelaide can win that one, that's a big, big win for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
No Johanna Grau today, I believe.
Mary Fuse leading things off,
nice
and she leads things off with a hit up the middle. So a leadoff runner is aboard for West Torrens.
Yeah, nice to see Mary doing so well. She's just become more of a regular on the team as of probably the second half of the season here, and you know, just every time she's getting a regular spot in the game, she's just getting a little bit better and better. But certainly her batting is, I think, the key to what she brings to this team.
Tough lineup top to bottom. This is Alicia Marchink. She's having a good year as well. She's hitting 278, and that's not bad production from someone sitting in your 7th spot in the batting lineup. The 7, 8, 9 of this West Torrens team is quite strong batting-wise in Marchink, Allen, and Beal.
Yeah, absolutely. And Alicia's been a really strong player for so long. Haven't seen her very much this season, but when she has been here, again, work commitments and also a shift worker. But you know, when she's been here, she's always a really solid player in the outfield and in the batting box.
Finals just around the corner. West Torrens, a win today, clinches a spot in the top 2. Crucial. Lewis deals, swing off of Marchink. Runner trying to get into second. It's going to be a stolen base from Mary Fuss. So puts a runner in scoring position. Had the hit and run on there.
Ah, there you go. Oh.
The 1-2. How is Lewis a different pitcher? What does she bring that's a bit different than Georgia Hood, you might see?
Well, probably speed is the #1 thing. So most people coming up against Hills obviously used to pace. So Georgia's a very, very fast pitcher. So Chantel, you know, completely different pace. You know, and potentially, I'm not sure whether she has like a down ball, up ball, you know, curve. I'm not sure what her specific sort of range of throws are, but she's been pitching a long time, so I'm sure she's a clever pitcher, and I'm sure she, and her brother Scott has been a pitcher as well, so I'm sure she brings a lot of experience in it rather than just trying to bowl it with speed, with pace.
Yes, it's her experience because she's pitched out there at Centrals for many years, and she just works edges and things like that. She's not Georgia, two completely different pitchers. You know, Georgia with the pace and power and strength. It just reminds me a bit of Jade Peterson, just does a job.
Walk there from Alicia Marchink, works back from a pitcher-friendly count to put 2 runners aboard, no out.
This is when the Hills need to get an out right now.
Carly Allen will be the batter. She's hitting .308 this year. She's only played in 12 games, but someone that can drive in runs and is...
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, Eric. Yeah, she's, again, we've only really seen more of Carly in the second half of the season, and she's always known for being a really strong batter. And since she's been back on the team, that's definitely what she's brought to the side.
Lee, you are right. This is very important out. One run might just be too many runs already when Steph Drazinski is the pitcher. Just puts so much pressure on you defensively in so many ways when Steph's pitching, doesn't it? Yeah,
absolutely. Like, you've just got to take every chance you can get because you're not going to get many of them. You're not going to get many from Steph. You're not going to get many from the West Torrens defense. You know, the error rate is very low.
I know what I'd go now. I'd go double steal here.
Aggressively, I like it. Allen lays down the bunt. Lewis has a look at third, but will...
Same horse, different jockey.
Gets the runners over to second and third, so a sacrifice play from Carly Allen. Just a smart sacrifice bunt.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a really good play, especially when you've got Jackie Beal, who's doing a fantastic job in her position as the 9th batter, batting at .326. And yeah, like regular, she's got lots of singles, but also can do extra base hits as well. So it's a good position for the team to be in.
She chops at that one, and she's just going to gun down the line, and that is some speed from Jackie Beal. It's going to be an infield hit. It'll boost her average. She's had a fantastic year in the 9-hole, and that is going to turn it over to the top of the lineup with bases loaded for Jordan Harris.
Won't she like this, Geordie?
Yeah, looking at Jackie's hit, like I think even if Danny might have even thrown that, she's, as you said, with her speed, she might have already still been there and safe.
This is the last person that I would want to face with bases loaded. Because even if you do get a ground ball and try to turn a double play, good luck throwing Jordan out when you have to make 2 throws across the diamond.
Yeah, exactly.
So they'll be looking for the force to home. Jordan Harris having another fantastic season, hitting .421. She's got 16 RBI, which is now equal top with Steph Tracinsky. She doesn't strike out all that often, only 7 times this season over the course of 20 games. And she swings at that one, jams just a little bit, trying to move under that. They got to make that catch, and they do. Hills catch a huge break as Alex Mackey moves under that and gets Jordan Harris to pop out, and none of the runners advance. That is a massive break for Hills.
That absolutely is, and she negotiated that well, Alex, because it's sunny up there and it went very high. So she'll they'll be really happy with that out.
There was an infield fly if fair call there.
That was a best case scenario. Faith Picard, 2 outs. This is where West Torrens did their damage in the top of the first. She flew out to center field.
Well, I think this is where Abby Jorgensen at right field needs to be in closer. Does not need the ball to land. There'll be 2 runs score if she does. Come in and catch the ball, girl.
The ball hit to the right spot, could score 3. Jackie Beal can fly over at first. It's Mary Fuss at third. Alicia Marchink at second, and Jackie Beal at first.
There's some speed on base. It's what the green team doesn't need at the moment.
Faith Picard's had a productive year. She's got 12 RBIs. Kara Schultz, she's out of the lineup. She's got 15 RBIs. It's a very well spread out offensive load here on this West Torrens team. They just string together hits.
Yeah.
See, pitcher Chantel Lewis is now pitching very carefully here.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It is a massive out.
But if you walk it with 2 down, then you get Sophie Hoyle and Steph. No, I don't think so. I'd let her hit here.
Simple task. She just needs to get Faith Picard out. And Picard rips one overhead short at Danny Perez with bases loaded, saves a couple of runs, and gets the Hills out of a jam. How massive was that from Danny Perez?
Yeah, what an awesome catch. Again, backhand. We saw one earlier from Maddie Rocher, and as you said, Eric, just an absolute, here we go, watching this in the replay here.
And the leading team's replay, if that ball gets by, that's 2 runs that probably score.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, they'll be very happy with that outcome, especially with the lineup that they had.
And those 2 runs allowed feel like 4 when it's Steph Drazinski pitching.
And they'll take a lot out of that, the green team, because first 2 batters got on base, then it was bases loaded, and then they got them down. 1, 2, gap, 3.
Well, Hills just have not allowed a lot of runs, especially in the second half of the season. And you look at their outs today. You've got 2 nice catches out in center field from Maddie Rocher. You've had that line drive catch from Danny Perez, and even the pitching from Chantel to get Jordan Harris, just a little jam shot to get her to line out. They hold bases loaded with only 1 out. They're really hard to score a run against. The defense makes you earn everything.
And that's what you want to see by your top teams as well. You know, that's the type of competition we want to see in the Premier League, that it's tough to get runs and it's tough to score on teams. So, really good job there by Hills, because certainly the pressure was on them.
Batters 5, 6, and 7, Peyton Daniels, Alex Mackey, Chantel Lewis. All of them can hit, but we're talking about hitting Steph. There is a difference.
How's this for fielding percentage for these 2 teams today on the season? West Torrens sitting at .919.
That's
and
reasonable.
Hills sitting at .920.
Oh,
Gee.
it can't get much closer.
Not much at all.
So working on your theory there, Eric, that means they're a better fielding side than West Torrens.
By slightly.
0.01.
Slightly.
Seacombe, for instance, they earlier today played. They have an .868 field percentage. Walkerville have a .907. Sturt, we'll have to look at what Sturt had last week, but I reckon these very well could be the 2 top fielding teams percentage-wise in the league.
Yeah, that's very good. Anything over 900. That's very good.
Just shows you how hard it is to score a run versus these two teams.
I've said it many times before, but look at this picture. Just look at Steph. Look at her attitude. It never changes. Body language always up there.
Peyton Daniels behind 1-2. Swings through that one. It's the third straight strikeout for Steph Drazinski, and now she's rolling.
Yeah, that was great pitching. She's just clever. You know, it's one thing to be a pitcher and just throw, but actually, between you and the catcher, you've actually got to have a strategy in place for every single batter, and these two work it out really well, and Steph can deliver on that.
Excellent point. Carly Allen's a very good catcher to Steph.
Well, in those 41 innings entering the game, she has 74 strikeouts. 59 of them have been swinging.
Wow. Yeah, that's impressive.
This one jammed over towards short, and Jordan Harris doesn't miss those very much. An easy out for West Torrens. I think what's impressive, though, as Alex Mackey is sat down, is 68% of her first pitches are for strikes, Steph Tracinsky. How much easier does that make it as a pitcher and harder for a batter when that first pitch is a strike?
Yeah, you're behind the 8 ball from pitch number 1, aren't you?
Chantel Lewis.
There you go. There's your stat.
First pitch strike,
First
and it's
pitch
been
strike.
like that pretty much all day. She walked a rare walk to Amber Hood. That's the only base runner that the Hills have had, although it's still very early days.
2 strikes, no balls. She'll go up here.
That was just the 10th walk that Steph has allowed in the 41 and 2/3
What
innings.
a lucky guess.
And if those stats aren't impressing you enough, she's only allowed 12 hits in the entire season.
That is really impressive.
It's as close to nothing as you can probably have. And another big strikeout. She strikes out the side. Or doesn't strike out the side, sorry. She gets 2 strikeouts and retires the side in order, but she struck out 4 of the last 5. Steph Tracinski is rolling with 4 strikeouts on the day.
Yeah, definitely. That's tricky. As you said, 4 out of the last 5 K2s. She's getting some rhythm going, and Heels are going to have to come up with something to just be able to standing in the box and hoping to hit Steph. It's not going to happen. You've just rolled off a whole swag of stats there. One hit, was it, that you said across the season, or
12 hits across the season.
12 across the season. So they're going to have to come up with something that's just going to challenge the team a little bit differently.
But the plus is, Kathy, that they're only chasing 1 run. That is the big plus.
True.
So how big does that look that they loaded the bases, West Torrens, in the second inning and couldn't score a run?
Yep.
That doesn't happen very often for West Torrens. That's tough to do against them. West Torrens as a team have been on an absolute tear since the calendar turned to 2021. They're an 8-1 record. They've won 7 games in a row. They've won 11 of their last 12. In 2021, they've outscored opponents 54-13.
Wow.
But the bulk of those runs came in that 11-7 game that they beat Sturt.
Yes, that was an interesting game. I use that word loosely. Game.
Why is that, Lee?
Oh well, they just played through the motions, didn't they? In that game, just the score tells its story.
I think they're waiting for the big game against each other before they really go full throttle.
Oh yeah, they're not going to be showing too much.
It'd be interesting if both these teams clinch a top 2 spot. The last game of the year is West Torrens and Sturt. It will be a game really potentially just to determine who the minor premiers are and who gets the last bat in the qualifying final of the first round. It'll be interesting to see what approach those teams, if that does happen, take against each other.
I don't think they'll throw I don't think West Torrens will throw the Steph. That's my own opinion.
And very well, Sturt might not throw any of their 2 guns. They might just say, hey, we'll play next week.
They threw
Sophie Hoyle hits this one to opposite field. She's got her second hit of the day. Sophie Hoyle having a nice day.
Yeah, definitely. And welcome back, Sophie Hoyle. Yeah, she's been a DP for most of this second half of the season, and just getting in the regular spot in the lineup was maybe this is the second or third game that she has, but you know, absolutely securing it and playing exactly how we know that she plays.
Yep.
So it's a good start for West Torrens here.
It's hard to keep her out of the side now, you would think.
Mm-hmm.
Getting really close to the business end.
Steph Tracinsky swings at the first pitch. This one just chopped up a little bit, and moving under that one was Peyton Daniels, and I think it just slipped a little bit on her. She still made the catch, so a quick out on one of the toughest bats in Steph Drazinski.
Good pitch then from Chantel, because Steph usually hits it flat, not up in the air to the infield.
She's been a crafty pitcher in this game. She's done that to Steph Drazinski, and she's done that to Jordan Harris, and she's done that to Faith Picard in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly what I was saying before. You know, she's not going to blow you away with speed and power, but her experience.
This one grounded over to Danny Perez. They get one. They
That's
get two.
awesome.
There's that Hills defense. Danny Perez leads the charge as the Hills turn a double play.
How good was that? What a great play by Danny, picking that up and cleanly shooting that over the second, and then, you know, followed up by who's on second today? Amber Hood.
Amber Hood.
Fantastic play. Look at
There's
this.
Perez. Quick decision, and Hood moves over well to cover it on the leading team replay. And how's that throw?
Yeah, fantastic. It looked like it even got a little bit caught in Amber's glove, but she still had enough speed there to get it over to first.
And that's what confidence does,
Oh, no, she's good.
plus add skill to that, and that's why the Heat is so consistent this year.
So a
That was
leadoff runner
terrific
goes
play.
aboard. They take it away with the double play. Danny Perez had that fantastic line drive catch in the last inning. Hills making it really, really difficult. So it's a 1-0 game. West Torrens lead the Hills Heat. Here as we head to the bottom of, we head to the bottom of the third inning.
Yeah, probably a game where, I know it's only early days, but a game we probably expected. It was never going to be easy. It hasn't been easy between the top 4 or 5 teams all season. So, you know, this is no surprise and exactly what we expected. So, you know, we'll see how things pan out for the rest of the innings.
And this is the second time they've met in 2021, but on the season they split the games 2-2. Early in the season, Hills won 7-5 and 7-4. Steph Drazinski was not pitching in those games. And then in their most recent encounters, right before Christmas, West Torrens won 3-0, and then they won in February by a score of 5-0. So Hills have yet to score a run off of Steph Drazinski, but they're split 2-2 down the middle.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Ween leads things off for Hills. Can they get a leadoff runner and try to generate some offense?
Seen that pitch a bit, haven't we, today already?
What a surprise. First pitch strike.
Yeah.
We're all going to be watching for that now, Eric.
All you're going to do is ground out to the infield on that pitch, but they're not playing a shot at it, most of the batters.
Well, by my count, that's 7 out of the 8 batters have been for a first pitch strike, which is the first pitch of the game. That was not.
That tells me
Correct.
the pitcher's not too scared of their batting.
She looks very relaxed out there.
Yeah. It's attitude. Hello.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Well, looks like she might have rolled an ankle a little bit in that hole. We'll have a look on the leading team's replay potentially if it comes up.
That would be the nightmare scenario for West Torrens supporters. Here's a great slow motion replay on the one side. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And she just, you can see that
That's hard to
ankle
see.
bend. That
Yeah.
doesn't look nice at all. Oof. Ugh, I don't like watching that, Kathy.
I'm not watching it anymore.
Can you see that, Lee?
Yeah, but I don't think her mother can see it. Have a look at it, Marcy.
It just bends awkwardly.
Yeah, this definitely rolls out. Just stepped in a little bit of a hole or
Yeah, it's a little bit of a divot on the pitch, it looks like. It
Yeah.
looked, I think it looked worse than what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
And
Well,
that,
she's
thank
walking
God
back.
for that.
Yep. Well, our official scorers are Julie Priest and Marcy Tracinski. Tracinski, you get the name? Does it ring a bell? That's her mother. So she was concerned, as we all were.
And she goes
comes
right
back.
back with a strikeout. Number 5 on the day.
Yeah, what great character to come back and whip that in there. She, obviously not too nervous about doing it again. She's just gone straight into it. So good for her.
Tough.
Abby Jorgensen, batting 9 in the lineup. She's busted into this side, hasn't she?
She has, and I was reading the summaries of the game on Wednesday night, and she had a critical triple, I think, late in the game, which
went to the
helped.
fence at right field into the strong wind. I've never seen it happen this season so far. Wind blown against it. Terrific shot it was.
Yeah, they beat Walkerville 5-3. They were down 3-1 most of the game, and they came back and they scored those 4 runs. They were down 3-0 early on, and they came back and not only dented Walkerville's finals hopes, but that's a character win from a team that you just can't quit on.
Abby really impresses me as a player of the future.
Why is that?
Oh, it's a speed to get to the ball.
Just a little jam shot. Steph moves back and takes that
Takes
one.
her ankle out.
She's moving okay.
She's moving all right. Abby is very athletic. I can remember when I was doing more of this sprint work with the state teams a couple of years ago, and she was part of that junior state team. And yeah, very good technique. But I'm sure I'm right in saying this as well, but she's actually in the state junior squad for netball. So a good all-rounder, and you have to be very athletic for both sports, but certainly on a very short netball court as well. So
I've seen her playing baseball as well, Kathy, on Friday evenings. She can play that game too. She plays at shortstop in the baseball team. When I saw her play, anyway.
Amber Hood is the only person that's got on base, and it was through a walk and a first pitch strike from Steph Drazinski again. This one is grounded over to third. Hoyle across the diamond. It was low, but they make the play. Kelsey Nucky, a nice defensive play, and that was about the hardest hit ball that they've had off Steph Tracinsky in the last 9 batters. It's 3 up, 3 down, and it's still a 1-0 game.
Yeah, and how we always talk about Kelsey's big glove that she's got there, but she does a great job at first base, being able to get things that are down on the ground, but also I've seen her get, you talk about climbing the ladder sometimes, getting things up really high as well. She just knows where that ball's coming and knows where to put her glove.
And don't you love consistent catches of the ball at first base? It's an important spot. Most of the outs are made at first base, normally, in the game of softball, unless Steph pitching, of course, and they become strikeouts. But Kelsey just gets it, like you said, Kathy, gets airborne, gets down, picks up balls that are in the dirt. Very reliable.
Yeah, Kelsey Nucky doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes over at first. Like you said, most of the outs go that direction. So if you want that stat, it's 81 of the putouts this season have gone Kelsey Nucky's way, and only 2 errors in that 81. I mean, more times balls go towards you, the more likely you're going to make a mistake. So 2 out of the 81 is pretty good.
Definitely.
And to just show how much volume, I guess, you get over at first base, she's playing over it with 81 putouts. Jordan Harris has 21 putouts and 38 assists. You combine those together, it's still not up to the 81. That's just the busiest position on the field over at first base, other than catcher.
Yep.
And because of that, you need to have a person who's solid in their ability to pick up a ball at any place, close to you, on the ground, above. And she does that very well.
It's only Faith Picard of the ones with some of the minimum requirements has a higher fielding percentage. As Faith, I don't want to jinx her, so I won't even say what our season is. But it's pretty good.
Mary Fuss batting now. Her first thought was to attack it, and she didn't. She said no, and it was a strike.
Oh, it was a beautiful strike.
Yeah.
Little change-up pitch from Chantel.
Another one.
Another change-up, and this one's going to float in over to left field. Mackenzie Ween moves under it, and that's out number 1.
Only 1 run in it. Hills are doing everything all right, aren't they?
They
defensively.
They're switched on. They communicate well.
It's just getting runs off Steph. It's only 1 they have to get to tie the game so far, but that 1 is looking a fair way off at the moment.
I mean, the Hills, no matter where they finish on the standings, they're going to be very well positioned to play whoever it is. Marching up the middle. Nice play from Chantel Lewis. Zips it over to first base. That's 2 outs.
Yeah, it's good reflexes from her. You know, you're following and finishing off a pitch, and then it's coming back at you so hard. She did a good job of getting up to that. We'll look on the leading team's replay here. Nice check over to first there for the second out.
Carly Allen, she had the sacrifice bunt in her only at-bat of the game. Ever since West Torrens loaded the bases with just one out, they had a foul out, caught in foul territory, a line drive over to shortstop, and then they had the double play, so it was a 1-2-3 inning. So it's been the next 7 batters retired in order.
Yeah, it's just getting that one run, isn't it? Or getting somebody in a scoring position, like Amber was in the first.
The combination of Lewis and Hood could be lethal in the finals.
Yeah, well, 2 complete different pitches, like Sturt, Zali and Millie, 2 different pitches.
It's just going to keep teams off balance.
Yep. Although I think Steph will keep most of them off balance.
Allen swings at a high pitch, and that one is going to find a little gap in the outfield. Maddie Rocher has to think about trying to make a play, but Carly Allen is aboard safely. And they break up that little streak of retirements. Brings up Jackie Beal.
Well, the left fielder, Mackenzie Wynn, needs to be on the dirt, and Danny Perez needs to be closer to third base, and Peyton needs to be on the line, because that's where the ball will go normally.
Lee Hull has a pretty good knack of calling these things if you're just joining us for a softball broadcast.
It's just because I see a lot of softball over the years, Eric.
Just a couple of
One or
years.
2 games?
And
Just one or two. You watch where Jackie hits this ball. If she hits it, it'll go out along the ground, out to left field like that.
And it's along the ground, it's out to left field, and it's a base hit. And Lee Hull has done it again.
What did I say about Peyton Daniels needs to be on the line? She catches that.
Yes, she does. Yeah.
That was uncanny, Lee. Never ceases to amaze me.
And me.
But that was such an important out for Hills, because you get that, you're out of the inning, and then Jordan Harris can come up to bat with nobody on base. Now she's got runners on first and second, and she's 0 for 2 on the day. The law of averages suggests that Jordan Harris will crunch one to center field, but Maddie Rocher, right place, right time, sure hands, and she keeps another run off the board. It remains a 1-0 game.
Oh,
Look at the despair on the young Harris.
It was absolutely hit like a rocket, but it was right to a fielder. What a shame for Jordan, but wow, what a very important out for Hills.
That's a good piece of hitting. You knew she was going to hit it hard, because she will. But she's been unlucky this game, Jordan, because in the first at-bat of the game, she hit the ball pretty good. It probably just floated a little in the air too long, but Maddie Rocher still had to move back to the right side of her body and make a catch on the run into deep center field.
Yeah.
She just got jammed on her second at bat. That's going to happen sometimes. But there was nothing wrong with that hit too, except the location of where that line drive went.
Correct. It came off so solid off the bat. A couple of, probably 3 or 4 meters either side would have been a different story. But that's the game of softball.
That's the game of softball, and we talk about it often, don't we? You can line drive it like that, score some runs. No, it gets caught, and then you come in and mishit the ball, and they throw it over the top at first, and you get the third. Mm-hmm. So that's what makes it intriguing, this game, this sport, softball to me, is you just never know exactly what's going to happen.
So Maddie Rocher, who's having a very tidy defensive game, is going to lead things off for Hills. They've got the middle of the lineup. We don't know if they'll get to the middle of the lineup again. These games are only 7 innings long, or they're 90 minutes time games. We've played about an hour, and the way Steph Tracinsky is going, there's no guarantee that they get to turn the lineup over for a third time, as we're already into the 4th.
We started 5 minutes late, official starting time.
Perfect.
4:05.
So this middle of the lineup needs to get their wriggle on, as I might say, and did say. And Maddie Rocher just misses that one. It's hit up into a spot. Jordan Harris, so confident, calls off Jackie Beal moving in. She takes the catch herself, and that is the first out. I think the defense is just excited they get to make a couple plays.
And that's the tough part when you're playing in West Torrens infield. You just never know when you're going to get a ball hit to you. If you're getting balls hit to you all the time, you're in the rhythm.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, late in the game, you need to field this one ball that's come to you, and you misfield it.
And I think that's where the mental aspect of softball comes in, because exactly like you were saying there, Lee. There's a lot of times you're not doing, you always need to be switched on, but you're not necessarily in the play in terms of a ball coming to you. So it does play havoc with your mental ability, and you really have to. Good softballers can be switched on all the time, even if nothing's happening.
It's knowing when to switch on and when to switch off.
Yeah.
Because you can't be switched on all day for the hour and a half.
Tracinski with a nice change of pace there. Gets the second strike on Lauren Christensen.
She'd know Lauren like the back of her hand, Steph, here. She'd know exactly what not to throw to her. But I can guarantee you Lauren will swing big.
Oh, that's a nice pitch.
She'll look at that one go by her. It's strikeout number 6 for Steph Drazinski. She's having a very nice game.
Yeah, exactly.
She's retired the last 11 batters she's faced.
Are you surprised, Eric? No.
I'm more surprised she walked the first one.
Yeah. Just loosening up, I would suggest.
Danny Perez had that highlight reel catch that, with the bases loaded, that kept runs off the board. Can she provide a jolt of energy here for Hills?
Yeah, she had a couple. She had was in the double play as well.
That's right.
Had that other line drive to her backhand side. And it took a nice piece of that first pitch of Steph there. So, yeah, maybe she might be the one to get things going here.
Danny Perez has had a nice year.
She's gone across this year from third to shortstop and done the transition very well indeed.
Always going to be some growing pains when you move across there, but she's been very good.
Two entirely different positions, aren't
Yeah,
they?
absolutely, absolutely. One, you're relying very much on reflexes. The other, you're potentially thinking, hopefully not too many things before the ball gets to you.
And relying on your feet a lot too to get to the ball.
Yeah.
That's why people like Jordan are so good.
1-2 count.
Cover the ground quickly.
Perez grounds this over to Hoyle across the diamond, and Kelsey Nucky, sure as ever, brings that in. It's another 1-2-3 inning for West Torrens, and they keep it after 4 innings. Just a 1-0 ball game.
Yeah, and coming up to batters 2, 3, and 4 for West Torrens. Never an easy group of batters to pitch to. So well, they're deep in the lineup with their batters, but certainly if West Torrens want to make a difference of that, make a bigger gap on that 1-0 scoreline, this will probably be the time to do it.
Well, we're talking about that defensive renaissance for Hills this year. One of the people that has been really good at that we probably deserves to be talked about a bit more for how she's playing defensively is Alex Mackey over at first base. We talked about Kelsey Nucky's great season that she's having, and 115 putouts there, but a .975 fielding percentage over at first base from Alex Mackey. That's very impressive.
Tells its own story, doesn't it, Eric?
And Georgia Hood has been great pitching, and Chantel Lewis great pitching. Amber Hood at second has been solid, and Danny Perez, especially in the second half of the year, has just got better and better with that move over to shortstop.
This is danger now for the green team. Pickard, Hoyle, Trazinski.
Got to keep it close. Heat play a lot of close games. You could probably tell by their 3 draws they have in their record.
Well, conversely, West Torrens last year had about 6 draws. They've had 0 draws. this year so far.
The only team without one. Hills in their 22 games have outscored opponents 82 to 67. This one is a moonshot over towards Amber Hood. She confidently brings that in. That's one down.
She's done that to a few of the big batters today, hasn't she, Chantel? Gotten them to pop up those, but they're really high. They're these high infield flies.
Just come under it a bit. Just jam it.
Yeah.
She's forced that on Jordan Harris, on Faith Pickard twice. Kelsey, nope, not Kelsey Nucky, but on, who am I looking for here? Mary Fuss had that little jam shot over to left field. Like, it's a great point, Kathy. She's getting people out in different ways. She doesn't have one strikeout today, but she's only allowed the one run, and she's relied a lot on her defense. But some of them have been challenging plays. Other of them have just been little pop-ups like that.
Yeah.
Sophie Hoyle, she's 2 for 2. She's ahead in the count early. She scored the only run of the ball game.
The trouble is with Sophie, you don't put the ball up near, it'll still be going tomorrow after it gets passed through those dogs at the German Shepherd Dog Club, because that's how deep it'll go.
West Torrens trying to clinch a spot in the top 2. A win today would put them in front of Sturt, at least temporarily, as this
Terrific
is grounded
pitch.
over to third.
Nice.
And there you go. It's just inducing soft contact once again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's keeping these these batters want to swing hard, and it's just, her pace is just not allowing them to get, we've seen a couple of solid hits, but they've gone to fielders, but they're just not allowing, she's not allowing West Torrens to really get a solid piece, to get through the infield.
Talking about a solid piece, watch this girl hit the ball hard this time, turn it back.
Steph Drazinski is 1 for 2 on the day, but she has that RBI, so she's not allowed any runs, and she's driven in the only one in the game. Is that good?
I think she should get paid wages for it today. Appearance money, you think?
And she was trying to drive hard at that one, but it's just chopped behind her. 1-1 count.
Come on, Steph. Don't let me down here, girl.
As you were saying earlier, Eric, I mean, it's a good 1-2 to have in the lineup, isn't it? Just two completely different pitchers, and depending on who you come up against, maybe one team hits better when there's a power pitcher, whereas the other one might struggle a little bit with a pitcher like Chantel or Taylor Mead. They come in and bring something completely different.
This one drifting over towards opposite infield, and for the second time in the inning, it's a little fly out to the second.
Yeah, unusual for her, so excellent pitching from Chantel.
1-2-3 innings. Chantel's been pretty cruisy. They allowed that bases loaded jam in the second. That's the difference in this game. As we've reached the hour mark, here's your game recap. Offensively for West Torrens, it was with 2 outs. Sophie Hoyle doubled, and Steph Tracinsky brought her home. In the second inning, West Torrens had bases loaded with 1 out, but since then, it's been Chantel Lewis with some crafty pitching, and they got out of the threat with a nice play from Danny Perez, and then a nice catch from Maddie Rocher in center field. But defense has been the story for Hills, and for West Torrens, Steph Drazinski has retired every batter she's faced since the first batter of the game. She's allowed just the 1 walk, and that was on the first batter. And since then, it's been 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-3 in the innings that she's played. And now you're caught up. So thanks for joining us here from the comfort of your couch on NITV on Channel 44. Big thanks to Softball SA and Spacequake Sports for all of their support. You can watch all these games on NITV on Channel 34, Fox 144, or SBS On Demand. And, of course, our broadcast partners, MC Sportswear and Leading Teams. Did we sum up the hour okay?
Perfect. It's been a very interesting game. It just goes to show, Eric and Kathy, you don't need a handful of runs to make it an interesting game. It's been very interesting indeed. Well, Peyton Daniels, second turn at bat. She was lead off on the first turn, so we're back to batters 5, 6, and 7.
She's come over from Seacom this year, and she had a catching position while she was at Seacom for the most part of last year, I recall, and doing a great job coming over to this new team and playing third on a more regular basis, but just a strong hitter.
And it's allowed Danny Perez to go from third to shortstop. So win-win situation for the green team.
How's Seacom right now, though?
Yeah, and that's a young team, and you know what? That's going to be the story for Seacom for the next couple of years. They're just going to get better and better and better, and a good coach in Dave Gooley to help them learn the game and develop their craft.
It takes time.
They went from getting blown out, to be honest, in most of their games in the early part of the year to winners of 3 of their last 4 and taking down some pretty good teams while they're doing it. And now they're scoring some runs. They're going to be a tough team to beat next year, and they're going to be a tough team to beat the last 2 games of the season.
Yeah, definitely. They've had a few wins in the last few games, and the thing is that's just going to develop confidence.
Peyton Daniels, this one going into foul territory. Kelsey Nucky running towards that one, just a little out of her reach. Just a strike. It's a 1-2 count. Tough at bat from Peyton Daniels here. You'd love to see her be rewarded to get on base. Does it make it harder when Steph seems to just race out to 2 strikes quite quickly that you can't afford to take any pitches?
I think so. I think for bat, everyone knows the caliber of Steph. So when you get yourself in a 2-strike position, there's got to be so much pressure on you as a batter.
Yeah, it certainly has. Kath.
Peyton Daniels.
Throw it up.
Good job laying off that one.
Good discipline, isn't it?
Yeah,
from Peyton?
definitely.
I mean, this is a 6 or 7 pitch at bat here, and most of it with 2 strikes, and now she's gotten to a 2-2 count. Just puts the onus back on Steph a little bit.
Just swing at the high one. There it is. No.
Wow.
Yeah, that's real discipline, isn't it?
Yeah,
Good on her.
This is a great at-bat from Peyton Daniels, and maybe the gritty at-bat that Hills need. Can they get on base, though? It's a 3-2 count.
Yeah, they got to get on 1, 2, 3, and 4 bases to tie the game.
First, they need to get on 1.
Yep.
And Peyton Daniels just stays alive.
Even I knew 1 came before 4, Eric.
So 3-2 count. There's been 3 foul balls in this at-bat. Pitch number 8 coming in. This great battle between Peyton Daniels and Steph Drazinski. And she swings at that one, lifted out towards right field, and that's just foul. Wow. Mary Fuss leaves that.
Yeah, I don't.
Risky.
It was very risky. It looked like it was catchable. I guess we'll see a replay in a second, but here we go.
Yeah, I thought she may have been horizontal here.
Oh.
Ooh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Well,
I think she'll think about that one again, and maybe if she gets that opportunity again, might have a different result.
as we go to pitch number 9, that's about being as many pitches as Steph Tracinski's needed to get out of innings.
This is a terrific turn at bat.
Yeah, Maddie Rocher had a very similar bat. Oh, that's a great pitch.
Steph Drazinski comes right back at her and wins a fantastic challenge from Peyton Daniels, but instead, it's just 13 batters in a row retired from Steph Tracinsky.
That's very impressive.
Worth coming again, Steph.
Only the 1 walk allowed. This one chopped foul.
Well, like a cricket shot then from Mal. It's sort of like, should I go or shouldn't I?
I mean, this is, I don't know what to make of this if you're the rest of the league here, because Hills have put a few balls in plays. They've had some long at-bats that just result in strikeouts. They're having tough, gritty at-bats, but they still can't get on base. It's just, it's got to be a bit deflating if you're going against someone like Steph, that you can put those tough at-bats forwards and just not get rewarded for it.
We talked about it at the start. I said you only need West Torrens will only need 1 or 2 runs.
So in that logic, you just need to keep having those tough at-bats because eventually you'd think someone's going to come.
Yep.
This one just chopped foul, and look, it's 0-2.
Yeah, law of averages, surely. The more you're hanging in there, and if you're not just sort of 1, 2, 3 walking off each time, the longer you're hanging in there, the law of averages is it's going to start to pay off.
Well, they say it's about 1 out of every 14 batters is who's getting a hit off of Steph Drazinski. So we're at about batter 15 or 16 right now. She's retired 13 in a row, so this is
This is it.
This is the law of averages one right here, right?
And Alex, how's she looking in from a batting statistic point of view?
She's going to chop this over, and Jordan Harris makes a nice play across the diamond, and it's a hit. Alex Mackey breaks up the no-hitter from Steph Tracinski, and there you go. Lee and Kathy Hills have a runner aboard.
Oh, yeah. Good effort for Jordan to get that on the backhand, but she was way deep on that, and, yeah, Alex is already
See
there.
how good Kelsey Nucky was then. Knew the ball wasn't reaching her, came off the base to get the ball.
Just so it doesn't go past her.
That's it.
And you get runner in scoring position.
And that's your job at first base. I mean, not every throw is going to be right on the mark. So your job, ball first, play second.
Well, this is a smart decision here for Hills, knowing that they have a base runner.
Georgia Ballard.
So Georgia Ballard will come in and pinch run for Alex Mackey, and they just need a little bit more speed, knowing that this run is about as expensive as you could ask for in the competition. Like we said, the law of averages, right? 1 every 14 hits, and it was on the 14th person.
One out, she has to bunt, Chantel. Just get her around early, give her a chance to get the second.
Put the ball in play.
Yep. Just let it hit your bat. Not up.
That's a lot of pace there. High and fast.
Well, that's why you come up to the top of the strike zone, so you come down. Anything above your bat when you're ready, you stay out of it. And she had it about halfway down.
Hills have opened the window just a little bit. Chantel Lewis swings through that, and Steph Tracinski back in the wheelhouse at an 0-2 count.
And Georgia Ballard remains at first.
Mackenzie Ween stands on deck. And a swing and a miss, and strikeout number 8. This one with a runner on base, and Steph Tracinski bounces back from allowing an infield hit.
Repeat of earlier 2 or 3 messages about the bunt. You must move the runner on. Forget yourself. Get the runner in a scoring position.
Mackenzie Ween swings at the first pitch, and she had a good look at that. She just missed it a little bit.
Yeah, really solid player, Mackenzie. You know, solid in the batting box, solid in the field, just a good all-rounder, and again, not a player that you see have a bad game or ever. So she certainly is capable of doing the job here.
This one slips away, and Lee, that is going to put a runner in scoring position for just the second time today. It was all the way back in the first inning. And that pass ball could be costly. A base hit could is the key word, score a run.
Name the last time you saw Steph throw the ball down like that in the dirt. I can't remember it.
What an effort from Hills today. Swings through that. It's a 1-2 count. Steph Drazinski 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning. Boy, Hills are not easy to play at all. Good discipline from Hills to lay off that.
Yep.
That's a nice throw by Carly there, trying to
Keep Georgia Ballard honest.
Exactly.
They've had 2 people in scoring position today so far in innings 1 to 5. 1 in the first innings, which was Amber, and now Georgia Ballard in the 5th innings.
This one chopped foul, staying alive, 2-2 count. Well, Peyton Daniels had that 9-pitch first at bat. Alex Mackey got a hit. Chantel Lewis struck out. It's been good. Good signs from Hills here.
Yeah, fantastic. probably the best game they've played, I think, especially knowing the quality of the opposition.
But it's another strikeout from Steph Tracinski. She strikes out the side. It's 9 on the day. She dials it up when she needs a pitch the most, and she keeps it a 1-0 game through 5.
And that's the unfortunate thing when you're batting there and you've got a runner at second. You've only had 2 in the scoring position. You can't go down looking. You know, swing from the rafters. It doesn't look quite so tricky then.
Well, softball action will keep ticking along the rest of the season. Right now, West Torrens trying to lock up a last 2 spot. But there's a game tonight, Sturt versus Port Adelaide at 6 p.m. And then on Wednesday, all 3 games, 6 teams play again. Walkerville, West Torrens, Sturt and Seacombe, Port Adelaide versus Hills. And then on Sunday or Saturday next week to finish the season off, it's Seacombe and Port Adelaide, Walkerville versus Hills, and then West Torrens versus Sturt. So after this, there's only 7 games left of the minor round. Can you believe that?
This has been such a quick season, and we were also excited when it started after, you know, the outcome at the end of the season last year where the games were canceled, obviously, due to the pandemic. But, yeah, so it's been great to be able to get back to softball, and, you know, all things going well, we'll have a grand final this year.
How's this, though? For the second straight year, the minor premiership could be decided on the final day of competition.
There's been a change in the defence for the Hills, Heath. Alex Mackey hasn't come back into the game. So Peyton Daniels goes from 3rd to 1st, and Georgia Ballard, who came in for Alex, plays at 3rd.
Kelsey Nucky
She's due, Kelsey.
leads things off.
I'm going hit down the left field line here.
She's 0 for 2. She grounded into a double player last time up on a nice play from Danny Perez, who's been a real standout today.
I think the entire Hills team have been standout in a game like this against Steph. Whew.
Well, also against the batting lineup.
That's right, yeah. The batting, so credit to Chantel.
This one hit hard over towards 3rd. Bobble just a little bit. Throw across the diamond. Got her!
Yeah, good pickup, Georgia.
Poor old Georgia, she comes into the game.
But didn't she recover from that well? Good for her. You know, and she's turned around and to pick it up and make an accurate throw to first. That's really a great play.
Yeah, a lot goes through your head at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when you've just come in the game. Like we talked about getting one play, you know, in an entire game.
In this 7-game winning streak for West Torrens, here's the runs they've scored. I'll just list them off in order. We got 5, 10, 6, 11, 7, 5, and 5. We've only scored 1 today, so that just shows the great effort that Hills have had to keep this game in distance. This up the middle, a nice snag by Chantel Lewis. The Hills defensive highlights just keep on coming.
And what a great, you know, regardless of where this game ends up, but I mean, what a great confidence boost to Hills coming into the finals. You know, as everyone has been saying, West Torrens has kind of been the hot team at the moment, and Hills still have a Georgia Hood to come in back into the team. But wow, to be sort of keeping West Torrens at bay with this result is really a confidence builder for them.
Well, they're 1 hit away from tying this game up versus West Torrens, who has been the dominant side over the last 13 games. And you're right, Kathy, that's a great point, is there's no Georgia Hood in this batting lineup. And sometimes when you lose your top player, you find out a lot about all the other players, and you find out people who stepped up. Chantel Lewis, after this game, if she can hold on to it, or as it currently stands in the live ERA, that ERA's gone below 2.
Yeah, that's impressive.
This one hit hard and high and deep, but Maddie Rocher gets back there and makes another nice play in center field. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Chantel Lewis once again, who's only allowed 1 run through 6.
Yeah, good job by Maddie out there. We just saw that. Oh, here it comes again on the leading team's replay. Just no worries. I've got that. A lot of sun out there, and Again, had to sort of track that to the left side of her, but she's playing that position very well today.
She certainly is. So only 6 earned runs, now 7 today, 7 earned runs in the 28 innings for Chantel Lewis on the season so far. She's having a really, really tidy year.
Yeah, she sure is. And again, you know, for someone who's played a lot of other positions and only been really a bit of a backup pitcher, obviously a little bit more at the moment, but that's impressive stats. And good that you can come in and, you know, maintain really high quality for your team when you're really seen as the backup pitcher.
So the live ERA for her is 175.
Wow.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
And
right.
she's done that without striking anybody out.
I haven't seen much of the umpires today. They haven't had much to do, have they, really, except the plate umpire. The umpires today have been Damien McCauley on plate, Kevin Tannenring at first, and Steve Wallace-Yarrow at third, but not a lot of difficult things to call today.
Well, we are in the bottom of the 6th inning. It is a 7-inning game unless we reach the 85-minute mark. That's in about 7 minutes from now. So either Hills need to get out quickly or they need to score a couple runs, which might just end the game as well. So if they score 2 runs, you'd think that it would be over a 7-minute inning, and that would be the end of the ball game, and they would just flat out win it. Or maybe they score 1 and it ties, or maybe they score none and we're playing a 7th. So literally anything can still happen is what I'm trying to say, Kathy and Lee.
Yep, I think you're right.
Abby Jorgensen, a player you really like, her second at-bat of the game.
Yeah, I do. I think Abby's got so much potential, and I'm just looking forward to watching her develop, you know, over the next few years. But certainly this year, she's really made her mark in this side.
Chops at that one, foul. 1-2.
Not sure the running back, which she tried, Abby, the first pitch, is the answer against somebody like Steph. It's only going to go foul or up in the air, straight up in the air. So she's given that away. Tried to surprise them, but
I don't know if they've got many other choices, Lee. I'd rather see trying something different
well,
than,
that's true. Yeah,
than just hoping you can hit Steph.
Just get the ball on the deck.
Well, with that strikeout, that is double digits for Steph Drazinski today. That's 10 strikeouts. Her last 4 outs have come by the K. Goes back to the top of the lineup, Amber Hood. She's put the ball in play once. She grounded out 5-3, and she walked the other time. Lots of first pitch strikes today, including that one.
Amber was not amused by that.
No. That one's a ball. It's a 1-1 count.
Yeah, a little bit up in the zone there.
Good batters, aren't they, the lead-off hitters for all sides. Choose, they've got patience. Choose the pitches to go for, choose the ones to leave.
Top of the lineup and a dire point of the game. Right now the score is offensively Steph Tracinsky 1 for West Torrens, and defensively Steph Tracinsky 0.
Yeah, well put. She did contribute the RBI for that 1 run in the first inning.
And then 10 of the 16 outs today have been strikeouts. 6 times the defense has had to make a play.
Oh, nice stop there by Carly.
She's caught well, hasn't she, Carly, today?
Yeah, calling the pitches, and also I think it was only those 2 that I've sort of seen down low, but yeah, she's doing a great job in knowing what pitch she wants Steph to give here.
And she swings through that one. It's strikeout number 11.
That's a critical out to have there. Top of the lineup, you know, quality of Amber Hood. They'll be happy with that one.
And the game started about 5 minutes late, so right after this next out, we will all look at the umpires and see what they decide if there will be a 7th inning. I say let this game play on. It's been a great one.
Definitely.
So is this the last shot for Maddie Rocher? We don't know. What a game it has been, though. Hills have been with West Torrens every step of the way. Just couldn't deliver that hit when they've had a runner in scoring position on their 2 occasions.
Yep.
Rocher up in the air. Carly Allen moves under that. That is out, number 3. It's another 1-2-3 inning. Umpire looking. I think we're going to get another inning. We'll play 7. I love it when we get the full game in.
Yeah, so that'll be good.
You can hear the umpire right there say we're playing 7.
Kevin wanted to play 6.
They might have forgotten that we had got off to a late start.
So it's very rare these days that we get through a 7-inning game, but when it's 1-0, that's kind of what happens. So Hills are going to get another opportunity to salvage some points out of this. If they do not, they've already locked up a playoff spot. They'll remain at 25 points. Port Adelaide are sitting at 20 points. If Port Adelaide win their remaining games and Hills lose it, they will pass them in the standings. However, if this result stays the same, all this really means is Hills will play in that elimination final in that first round of the finals. And West Torrens and Sturt, that'll be locked in as their opponents playing each other in the qualifying final.
Yeah, either way, there's going to be some good games in the finals. I think we'll be all on the edge of our seats for those.
Well, this is the biggest challenge, really, that West Torrens has had in 7 or 8 games since their last loss versus Walkerville.
And I don't think, you know what, that's not a bad thing. If I was coaching West Torrens, I wouldn't see this as a bad thing, because you need to be put under pressure coming into the finals, because they're not going to be walkover games. So you actually need to be in a 0-0, 1-0. How do you cope in that kind of a game? You know, how do you hold up under pressure when the other team gets runners on? So yeah, as a coach in a coaching box, I would think that this is a pretty good thing to have to go through.
I mean, Hills, you got to leave this game thinking we can beat West Torrens.
Yeah.
You'll have Georgia Hood back in the lineup. Your defense can keep them off the board.
West Torrens have got Lana Keisler, Cara Schultz to come back, haven't they?
Yeah, they certainly do. Yeah,
so
2 strong batters.
2 fine batters. Oh,
Carly Allen.
Look, and solid players in defensive and on the field as well. So they bring an all-round game to West Torrens.
I think to an earlier point in the broadcast, Lee and Kathy, is teams have to find a way, and they haven't done it yet. They have to find a way to put the ball in play versus Steph Drazinski. You can't get struck out like this and expect to win. But that's easier than said than done.
Yeah. That's what keeps us all coming back every season, because if we think we had the answers to it, we'd give it up and find something else. But, you know, it's what we love about sport. Just when we think we're working it out, something else challenges us.
Good at bat here. Eagles just looking for that one run that probably puts it out of reach, to be honest. Sounds ridiculous at a 1-0, but it's a 1-0 game. Good at bat from Carly Allen.
Good pitch too, it was.
Yeah, took the
Good
pace
choice.
right off of that, especially Carly was looking to hit and hit hard, and yeah, it was really a great pitch, a great decision.
It's a simple game, really, Kathy. You just don't pitch what they want the batters to hit. Just cat and mouse it is.
Reaching at that one, staying alive.
Yeah, she sort of reached, you know. Trouble is, when you reach at him, you don't have any power to hit the ball deep.
Tough part of the lineup. Allen, Beal, Harris all due up.
Well, they've got to shut 2 of those out.
Ideally, the first 2 for...
Yes, I think that would be beneficial. Then let Jordan just, or even walk Jordan, I'd say. That's what I think I'd do.
When she's 0 for 3 on the day, you just don't want to...
Yeah.
And she's hitting the ball well. She's just gone to the wrong places.
It's just that law of averages again. One of those is going to go where it needs to go.
Carly Allen hits this hard. Danny Perez, that took a weird jump at her. She blocked that down, but that just hopped up probably a foot higher than what I think she anticipated it would off that dirt.
Yeah, sitting here commentating many games, I've seen it probably about 3 or 4 that bounce right about there. It's just quick and unexpected.
I think one happened exactly that to Jordan Harris earlier in the year.
And Taylor Chillingworth, I've seen one as well. So yeah, you're absolutely right. And Alicia Mead comes on to run for Carly Allen.
Runs for Carly.
And that's probably a smart decision again from Coach Andrew Scott. He can sense that Hills, if you just want to give this game away, you got to take every chance that you can get that extra run.
Look at the gap between third and
Jackie
shortstop.
Beal. A nice diving play. Are they going to make the play at first? No, they won't. It was a really well executed bunt, and Georgia Ballard dove down and blocked it, but it's now runners on first and second and no out.
Very good play from Georgia, but there was a huge gap. That's what Jackie Beal was eyeing off.
Yeah, and I agree with you both. Like, that was so well placed. You know, the whole idea of the bunt is you want to try and get it between players. So Georgia's had to do a great stretch, which she did a good job of it. But, you know, when you stretch that much, you also got to be in a good position to make a good throw as well. And it just unfortunately didn't pay off for her there.
Jordan Harris swings at the first pitch.
Huge.
This one is back. This one is to the fence. And this one is gone. A 3-run shot from Jordan Harris, her 4th home run of the year. And that might be the knockout punch. It's 4-0.
Yeah, that was a huge hit.
As I said, Kathy, I would have walked it.
Jordan Harris.
Wouldn't have happened then.
As she runs in, she has hit the ball well all day, just right to the fielder. Fielder can't get it if it's over the fence.
I think they've called.
Sorry?
I think what's happened here is
Jordan has passed the preceding runner.
Oh, so Jackie's held up. Somebody's out here, but I'm not actually sure.
So it's not going to be 3 runs.
Who was the one that was out, Jordan?
I'm not sure.
So here's a look at the replay of Jordan running the bases. Look at that. There it is.
Yeah.
So there's the preceding runner. That's Jackie Beal.
Yeah.
And Jordan Harris just passes Jackie Beal just for that 1 split second over towards second. She slows down right away. That's when she was called out, I think.
Yeah, that's right. So Jordan was the one that was out.
So it's going to be a 3-0 game. Those other 2 runs are going to count, but Jordan is going to be called out. So it's the old 2 RBI home run with 2 runners on.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
There's something that you think about. Perhaps we didn't need the walker.
So Jordan's going to get credit with 2 RBIs. That one falls in from Faith Picard. So Jordan hits a home run, but she's out.
Yep.
And she looks like she's trying to sort of move. Here we go. It looks like she's trying to encourage Jackie to move on.
Yeah, so she was moving back to tag up. She was, I think she was.
Oops.
It was just a slight, I don't know if it was a miscommunication or I think you couldn't tell there if Jordan was signaling for her to move on or was she watching the ball go over the fence.
Yeah.
Well, we said the umpires on the base hadn't had much to do. Well, there's something you don't see a lot of.
I've not ever seen that.
No, it's not at this level, the Premier League.
And it was just, I think Jackie Beal was just going back to tag up.
Yeah.
Because that ball a little low, it looked gone off the bat, but yeah, she was just tagging up just to be safe, and it was just a split second. It wasn't very long, was it?
I don't think she expected to see her there. I think she sort of came around and she was watching the ball, and then she looked to her left and
so there's somebody with the same uniform.
So how does that get scored? So Jordan Harris, is she 1 for 4 on the day with a home run, or is she? 0 for 4 with the home
I
run,
think
or
we
is she
have to-
1 for 4 with a running error?
Leave that to the official scorers.
I guess she gets the 2 RBIs, of course. I'm going to let
Oh,
the...
that's so slight,
Oh.
too. That's literally a foot. Great work from Space Quake Sports and the leading team's replay.
Oh, gee.
Tell you what, it was a pretty clean defensive game and from both teams. And now we've had an error on the home run. We've had a...
I've never seen that happen.
And now we almost had a collision here on the infield.
Look. Stay out of it, some of it.
So that's the second out of the inning. Runner on second base. Steph Drazinski up to bat. She swings at the first one. It's a 3-0 game.
And this is the 7th inning, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
Hills will still bat.
More action in this particular half innings than we have for the whole game.
That was just bizarre.
Yep.
Well, as we were saying, though, before Jordan came out, we were saying law of averages. She's been hitting well. All she needed to do was sort of get onto one, and we, it was going to be a matter of time before she was going to get it in a place where it was going to help the team.
She really needed to stop and do up her shoelaces again, didn't she? And then admire the home run. Steph's just had a swing for herself, now one for the team. Oh.
She just rolls this one over Ballard, play across the diamond, safe, and it's going to score a run.
Oh.
Steph Tracinsky with her second RBI of the day scores Faith Picard, and now it's 4-0. And her second hit of the day, too.
Wow, what a great play, because Georgia picked that up really well. It was just, I think, a bit of a slow roller, which gave, there it is, a little bit almost off the end of the bat type thing. That just gave her an opportunity to get a few steps in before Georgia picked up the ball.
What a bizarre inning.
Oh.
And that was just bang, bang. She just got there, I think. How's the umpiring this inning? Not an easy inning to umpire.
No.
And they've done a great job.
And the Heat will be ruining this because they've done so well defensively.
Kelsey Nucky.
Well, you won't keep her down for long, and hasn't got on base so far until now. Watch how far this ball goes to left field.
Nucky cracks that one. That gets through. And it's the hit parade now for West Torrens. It was only a matter of time, it felt like. They're so hard to keep down. And it's that 4th time through the lineup proving deadly.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody said to hit the left field. Watch this go through there.
That made Kelsey happy. I called the game on Wednesday night, and I know Mark Cramp thought he kept putting the commentator's curse on her.
Yeah.
So she'll.
Well, I didn't.
Yep, you didn't, and that's the Kelsey we're used to seeing in games.
Hard hit of the ball when she makes good contact, isn't she? Mary's had a reasonable day with the bat. Got bat on ball a lot. Got a safe hit. First turn at bat.
This game just turned weirdly.
Lauren.
It just turned weird, this game.
Well, it has, actually, with a capital W for weird.
The only thing that would make it weirder now is if Hills go and score 5 runs in the bottom of the 7th. In a game that goes 2 hours, half an hour over the limit.
You don't want to put some money on that, do you, happening?
I'm not willing to risk anything. Although I wouldn't mind betting that the Heat will score a run in the next inning.
Oh, okay.
I think they'll get a run.
You think so?
Yeah. I think they're due for a run, and then they're gonna end up ruining this last
playing an
inning.
Extra innings. Yeah. Could have been. One of the umpires thought it was over, didn't he? And the other umpire said no.
Ball 4 and the bases are loaded.
Been all right, Mary.
And the only
Twice
person
on base.
that has not batted this inning is Alicia Marchink. And we might have a pitching change.
Who else pitches in this team? I'm just thinking.
Peyton Daniels was warming up earlier in the game. I'd be surprised if they make that change now.
No, they won't. Surely not.
Just calming it down. Alicia marching.
Yeah.
Bases loaded.
Yeah, the coach, Humphreys, has probably said, look, girls, we've done terrific after this. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
We've got 2 out.
Just be a settle down.
Let's get out of this game.
Carly Allen reached to start the inning on an error, on a hard hit, awkward bounce off Danny Perez. Jackie Beal on an infield bunt. Jordan Harris had a home run with 2 runners on, but it only counted for 2 runs because she barely passed the runner that was ahead of her in Jackie Beal. So Jordan Harris, that was the first out of the inning, even though she hit a home run. Then Faith Picard reached on a little bit of an error. Sophie Hoyle was out, and then Steph Tracinski drove in that run, and now she's over at third base with the bases loaded.
Drove in that run, did you say? Drove, okay.
Drove in that run.
Yeah, yes.
Drove it hard.
I think if Alicia hits this, it's going straight down Maddie Roche's throat at centre field. There's a wild guess or not.
She's had a good game today, Maddie Rocher, out in center field.
Yes. Abby Jorgensen, I don't think is at the ball to field, but Mackenzie and Maddie have done well.
3-1 count. Now this one, you'd think you're going to get something to hit. Bases loaded.
Chantel just wants to get this over, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does.
She's saying.
She's done such a good job.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate.
Just the last bit.
Yeah.
She gave her team every chance to win.
Oh, good pitch up.
She gets back there. Yeah, great performance from Chantel Lewis today. A couple errors have let her down in this inning, but overall, just a fantastic performance from her to just get soft contact, except for that one pitch off Jordan Harris today,
And
which she's still gotten out off of.
well supported by catcher Christensen. Lauren's done a great job.
And a big
great
strikeout, her
pitch.
first of the day, and that's a nice way to end a nice performance from Chantel Lewis.
And a great time to bring it out, especially with a couple of runners there on third and second.
What a half inning. Wacky and weird. But West Torrens score 3 on one of the funkiest innings that half innings that you'll watch.
And I think, it reminds me, it's the second time this season we've had an inning like that, and I recall calling a game that, I remember it was Walkerville, maybe it was Walkerville was Torrens. Again, there was one inning, and there was so many unusual plays happen in that game that I've never seen in softball before.
And they batted through the lineup, 9 batters.
They did.
We even got the umpire, KT, asking how to score that run.
Oh, it was the running bunt.
Well, Steph Trazinski has allowed just 1 hit today. She struck out 11 batters. She walked Amber Hood, and she allowed a hit to Alex Mackey in the 5th inning. And it's been good for Steph Trazinski the rest of the way. She's had a fantastic performance. She's going to go the distance. She's going to try to pitch a complete game. Her ERA entering the game was 0.19, only allowed 1 earned run the entire season. That ERA is getting even lower. Opponent's batting average was 0.87 entering the game. That has got even slightly lower to what it is. It's been a great game from Steph Drazinski, but this is softball. Anything can happen.
That's right.
As we've just seen in that last inning, and Hills can still apply some pressure here.
It'd be ironic if they scored 2 runs here, when they were chasing 1.
Yeah.
Well,
You'd feel for them. If the score holds, though, you'd got to think, to this point, Steph Tracinski looking like your leading teams or your MC Sportswear player of the game.
this batter's just got to shorten up and try something different instead of going ho.
It is the middle of the lineup, and
Yep.
Christensen swings at that one. She struck out twice on the day.
Look, and Steph's such a great performer. This is the type of inning, she likes to be in. Ahead, going into the last one, she's going to be even more determined to close this out than any other inning.
Remember earlier in the game, Steph landed awkwardly on that planting foot, and it looked a bit worse than I think it actually was, thank goodness. Christensen.
Doing up the shoelaces like your daughter Kathy should have been doing.
I'm still really curious. I'd like to ask our professional scorers to our left there, like how do you still count that as a hit and then the out is on the base running?
I think it has to be, right?
Has to be
error on
a
the
hit.
base running.
Has to be a hit.
Her 4th home run of the year. Can we just talk about where this power came from Jordan Harris? She always made great contact with the ball, but 4 home runs in a season is the most I think I've heard of since we've been here.
She has changed her batting technique a little bit this season, and I think that's made a huge difference for her. Oh,
and a called strike.
Somebody's going to have to tell her husband, James, what happened. he's not going to believe it.
Do you think he'd believe that Steph Tracinsky has struck out 12 through 7 innings and only allowed 1 hit?
He'd believe that, but he won't believe Jordan past the preceding runner, who's quick also.
Yeah. They were both definitely looking in different
There we go. There's Danny Perez getting creative with the running bunt. That
is great. See, and that's what we've been talking about all game. We've got to find a way to do something different. You know, just caught West Torrens off guard a little bit there. Faith Picard not in position there to take that great quick pickup from Sophie.
A 2nd hit of the game. And that might just be what you need to do versus Steph Drazinski, is just use your athleticism, put some pressure on the defense for moments like that. Look at this. There's that replay, Kathy, that you're talking about on the leading team's replay.
Yeah, so she wasn't caught napping. I think Sophie just picked it up so quick, and Danny was so quick as well that there's not much you can do.
And now another bunt right at Steph Tracinsky. She almost makes the play, and she gets her over at first to end the ball game.
What a way to finish a game.
Steph Tracinski dominated this game, and she ended this game. It goes glove, face, hand, over to first base.
Wow, that
there it
will
is.
be on
Glove,
the highlights.
face, hand, base.
Well,
How is that for an ending to a game on the double play?
I hope everyone stayed with us to the end, because wow, what a fantastic finish.
Unbelievable, wasn't it?
Final line on Steph Tracinski. She goes 7 innings. She picks up the win. She strikes out 12, walks 1, and allows just 0 earned runs once again. And a great performance, though, from Hills. They really made it interesting. That's probably a big takeaway from the game, isn't it, Lee?
Yeah, it certainly is. With me, Eric and Kathy, I think Hills, don't put your heads down, girls, because you played a terrific game. Come to the 7th innings and everything happened for both teams in the 7th innings.
That will lock up the top 2 in the competition. West Torrens now moved top of the table. They got 32 points. Sturt play tonight. They have a chance to bounce back over, but no one can catch those 2 teams. They will be playing each other in the qualifying final. Hills will be playing one of Port Adelaide or Walkerville. Still a loss to sort out in the final games. Kathy, take us through your MC Sportswear player of the game.
Oh, I think you can't go. I think you can't go past Steph. She just dominated in the pitching circle. You know, she just didn't allow anything to happen, and you know, you can't score runs against her when she's in that fine form. So absolutely, you know, my vote today goes to Steph.
Yeah, it's going to be hard not to see her get 3 votes in the Kath Coral race as well from this game. But an interesting game for sure, a very intriguing one. We go the distance in a 7-inning game. West Torrens defeat the Hills 4-0 on behalf of Kathy Lambert and Lee Hull. I'm Eric Ballnar. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon for another great day of softball. We'll see you on Wednesday night.
Good afternoon, everyone.